Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Gratitude, gratefulness. From many directions, we are told to be grateful. Why should we be grateful? For what should we be grateful? Every situation has positive and negative. And it depends entirely how we are focusing, where we are putting the attention. The old picture, either you can be happy about the glass half full, or you can be annoyed because it's half empty. If we really learn to be grateful for all the positive aspects that we are facing, that we are dealing with, that we have at our disposal, it makes life so much easier. This realm is relative. Every situation has positive and negative. If we focus on the negative and are annoyed, shouldn't be like this should be different, this should be different, and are annoyed about it, it's such a heavy burden. It's poisoning our experience all the time. There is absolutely nothing wrong with making efforts, taking steps to improve the situation. We may be successful, we may be not successful. But being always annoyed, it shouldn't be like this. Why is it like this? That is not good. That is such a burden. It's eating up our life force and makes our life miserable. But if we learn to see all the little things that are there, are grateful for it, then it's like it's opening up the heart. Our experience becomes more joyous, more expansive. Even if we are grateful, we still can make steps, take steps to improve the situation if we feel it's necessary. But if basically that attitude is there, grateful that I can take a breath, you take everything for granted, grateful for all the little benefits that are always there, then it's filling our psychophysical manifestation with something very nice, very beautiful. And then we are opening up to that essence much easier. If we are annoyed, then the consciousness becomes contracted. If we are always complaining about what is not good, this is not good, that is not good, oh, it's so terrible, nurturing self-pity, then the consciousness becomes so small, so contracted, and it's very difficult to open up to the essence. So it's not just a moral issue that we should be grateful. It's not that a stern father somewhere tells us you should be grateful for what you have. It's simply if we can develop that virtue, our life becomes so much lighter, so much easier, so much more beautiful. And we can access that natural joyousness of existence that is there. If we have a grateful heart, if we cultivate that gratitude for just every, we need not make a list, but basically having that grateful feeling for every little thing that is there, that helps us, that is provided, then life is so much more joyous. It's worth it. It's not a moral rule. If I'm not grateful, I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad girl. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that it is using our life force, our consciousness, our love in much a more efficient and beautiful and joyous way. It's even possible that somebody who is not grateful, who is always looking what is not good, can improve the situation better because they are always busy trying to improve, but it doesn't change anything because no matter how much they are changing the situation, there are always those many things that are irking, that are nagging, that are not as they should be. And then one can spend all the effort always trying to improve, better the external situation, better the relationship. I mean, being nice in a relationship is good, but we don't have to change the others. We don't have to change the surroundings. Somebody in that mood may be externally more successful because all the energy goes in it, but is always unhappy. And as I said before, even if we are basically grateful, we still can improve the situation where we think it makes sense. Nothing wrong with that. But even if the situation is not perfect, if we can see with happiness for all that is there, that has been provided, that makes our experience easier, then such a person is living much more joyous than somebody who is always pissed about what is not okay. It's like the plants. If you look out and you see the plants, they're like exuding something, like they are grateful for the sunlight. They are grateful when it's raining. It's wonderful to see the plants when it was dry for some time and then rain comes. Ooh, how they are like singing joyously. It's natural. So let's live in that natural mood of gratefulness and make our life lighter, easier, more joyous. Hario, Hario. Okay, I stop talking, just like that, and wonder whether there is anybody here who would like to come in. I see Dayal. Hello, Dayal.
Mm.
Oh, I see also Leela.
Dial can go, and then I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dayal, I don't hear you. You have no sound, although you have, I see that your mic is open.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. So that what you was talking about was really important for me now. I just come from very um, big conflict with owner of my room where we was staying.
Yeah,
He find another clients who pay more money, and
yeah.
against our agreement kick us out, and we should search in a room in high season, and we was shouting to each other. So kind of a good checking point about my meditation. Yes, it was not easy, and I try to be grateful for everything and forgive everything. Yes, but I noticed I was um, usually I feel self-confidence
Mm.
that God loves me, the universe give me support, and I'm always very happy to be in India. And now this kind of little bit break, I feel, oh, something wrong with me. God not supporting me. Suddenly, something strange going on. What to do? Yes, and I feel kind of emptiness inside in negative meaning.
Yeah,
So I try to recover myself, but I notice that I'm health. My self-confidence depends on uh, out situation.
mm.
So I rely, if everything outside is okay, that means God loves me. If
Yeah.
something is going not like I want, that means, oh, God don't love me. So what to do? I looking for inner balance
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, and meditation helped me a lot, and so I probably will be all right. But can you tell about how to find balance inside? It doesn't matter whatever happening outside. It's only in meditation we can feel it, or how you can talk about this.
Yeah. Right, of course, if your self-confidence is dependent on the circumstances, then it's very frail. Then something goes wrong and the self-confidence goes. And the idea that when everything goes quite smoothly, yes, God loves me, but if things are not going smooth, then God doesn't love me. It doesn't quite work like that. God's love can also provide sometimes difficult situations. We are here to learn, we are here to grow. And even if we are meeting difficult situations, that doesn't mean that that divine support is not there. It may be there, giving a difficult situation, but at the same time, also the strength to deal with it and grow in the situation. So it doesn't mean, if things go wrong, something is wrong with me and God doesn't love me anymore. But okay, so there I'm being given a challenge to deal with a difficult situation. And how can we keep the inner balance? By meditation, of course. Meditation is your thing where you always find the connection again, but then you can learn more and more to have that same attitude when you are not officially meditating, that you're learning also when you're active to focus again and again on that aspect in you that is not affected by whatever is happening. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not nice. Sometimes an owner comes and behaves like a fool. But there is still that aspect in you that is not affected by it. If we want to learn to keep our balance in difficult situations, we have to learn to connect consciously with that aspect, even when we are not officially meditating, that we can develop that meditative attitude when we are active. And it's good that each one for themselves find their way how to connect easiest, most naturally. And as you are doing Vipassana as your main practice, I think something like just redirect in the situation where you get upset, redirect the attention to your body sensations, to your breath, and relax in it. And if you do that, then the situation is still there, but you become quiet and can deal with it much more efficiently.
Yes, thank you, Werner. Thank you.
You do your Vipassana practice also when you're active.
I don't know, not so easy, Werner. Yes, going to speak that we should be aware of the body all the time, but it not work like when I'm meditating. It's, yeah, but still I should try. Yeah.
Right. Of course, when you're meditating, then you're not, your attention is not diverted to other things. Then you can put your undivided attention to that. But then when you are not meditating, when you are with people, just remind yourself every now and then, okay, connect, consciously connect. Not only in the situation when things go wrong, because then when you, it's difficult at that moment to have that presence of mind, but also when things go well, quite smoothly, but you are not meditating, when you feel quite okay, then remind yourself to connect consciously when you are active, when you are with people. And if you do that every time you remember to do that, then the memory comes much often and gradually it's easier. But of course, you're right, it's easier when you're sitting quietly and are not active. But it doesn't mean we should not do so when it's a bit less easy.
Yes, okay, Werner, thank you for your support. Yes, and these things happening. Yes, I hope I will be able to face it more balanced style next time.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, wish you well. All right, Leela, if you want to come in now.
Hi.
Hello.
So it's actually connected to what you spoke about, and also to what Dial spoke about, shared with us. So this week I had an unpleasant event. I can't say I had, but yeah, unpleasant event happened and I was involved. And it was rather very unpleasant.
Yes.
And not only unpleasant, but there was something that should have been solved, something about the medication. So I took it very much to heart. And it really kind of shaked my balance, which is not always so balanced nowadays.
Yeah.
And then it was like going on for a few days back and forth. And I think it was Thursday or Friday when I felt a real shift. So first I wanted to ask about traces that events leave, but then I wanted also to ask or to share again. I didn't speak about it. It was too much to share, to tell the whole story. So yesterday I was all day here at home, not talking, hardly talking, or maybe not talking at all. Probably Thursday afternoon also. Not sitting and meditating, but just like staying with what there is. Yesterday I felt a shift, as if like the coin fell something, and I just don't understand where it came from, as if all the practice like was there for me from all the years. I felt a great relief and energy. So my question first is about traces. Then I wonder, it's not really magic, but I didn't do anything to change it.
Yeah.
Maybe the fact that I didn't speak, I'm not sure.
The first question is about grace, or
No, traces of events that like events happen to us and we react, there's
yeah,
ongoing
right.
and then there are traces and we tend to maybe tell it to other people or self talking about it.
Yeah.
And maybe also in the nervous system, in the body,
Yeah.
it stays.
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Right. That's exactly, if we are getting very emotionally overwhelmed in a situation, it's like we are charging all the levels. Our physical and our psychological system is being charged with emotion, with energy, and usually we are not digesting it, but rather pushing it away, and there it's still there. And then it has the tendency to influence our actions and our moods and our way how we are dealing with people. Even if in a situation we lost it, we forgot about to connect and maybe got very upset and emotional after that, when the memory comes, there is the moment that we can remember, hey, I need not feed whatever has annoyed me. I need not think around that was not good and he shouldn't have behaved like this. And because there we are strengthening again that which hurts ourselves. And it doesn't matter, you may be right or wrong. It's not, I'm right, he's wrong. It's not the question. The question is, how can I let go of what tension I have put in my system? So when you, after a situation where we get overwhelmed and maybe a bit emotionally strongly involved, and then it comes back, and then maybe we may remember, hey, come on, I can deal with it differently. I can let come the emotion and then just see what it is doing and relax instead of keeping on feeding them. And then those traces that we have leaving behind, they are evaporating. But if we keep on holding on to the standpoint, it's my right, I'm right, I'm right. So then we are just holding on to that tension that we have created, and it keeps on creating troubles. So the moment you are alert enough to become aware, oh, yeah, okay, that was an unfortunate situation. Maybe the person has misbehaved, But no matter what, I need not hurt myself all the time with it any longer. I can see what I did to myself by getting all upset and let the feeling again come, but at the same time see what it is doing, observe what we did, what we were not quite aware in the situation, how much disbalance we created. Until when that comes up again, the emotions come up again, we feel the tension, we feel the unbalance there, we can breathe and we can relax and let the things go instead of holding on to.
Yeah.
And then even when we have left those traces behind, they go again. But if we're not resolving them, then we keep on adding and adding to the bag of stuff that we are carrying along. And now,
Yeah,
this,
quite simple.
yeah,
Yeah, quite
quite,
simple. Yeah, okay.
quite simple. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
second part, then, yes, often I said, we cannot really do it. We cannot really directly do it that something shifts.
Yeah.
But what we can do is make ourselves available. And we make ourselves available by being conscious and exactly by doing what we just now talked about, by removing all those unnecessary burdens that we are carrying along, that come from events that have been unpleasant, and we felt cheated, we felt betrayed, we felt unjustly treated and whatever, and hold on to that I'm right, I'm right. Instead of, it doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong, I'm still carrying something with me that is hurting, and letting that go. That is the way that we are making ourselves available. And that's all we can do. That remove the obstacles, and then sometimes it just happens. It's not that somehow we have to do that shift. It's more that we have to remove the obstacles and they start to happen.
So let's say I feel that part of it is not, as I said before, not talking about it, not sharing it with other people. In a way, it's a kind of a small retreat I did at home. I didn't, yeah. So I guess this is maybe one thing. I wonder if it now will like be there for me next time or not. I don't know. It's quite a nice experience, I must say, because it was a very sharp shift. So I'm just yeah, I just hope that the system have learned something, that mind, body, the whole thing. Yeah.
Definitely the system has learned something. You have learned something. And it may be there for good. And sometimes also it may happen that the old habit to react may take over again. And then you need not, if that is happening, you need not think something went totally wrong. But okay, that grace was there, but then the old habit was still strong enough to shatter the balance again. And then you come back to making yourself available by removing the obstacles, by not holding on to those tensions that we are creating by emotionally overreacting.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Werner.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om. Yeah.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I see Nava. Hello, Nava.
Hi, Werner.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you about about energy.
Yes.
Two things, and they're both very difficult, and I don't really know what to do with them.
Yeah.
One of them is sometimes I feel almost like an explosion of energy
Yeah.
inside of me.
Yeah.
And it's only the last little while that I've become aware of the fact that when it happens, I immediately think it's not good
Yeah.
and I push it away. And I think it frightens me. Okay, and I don't know what to do with it. That's the first thing.
Right.
And being told to, you know, the things that we do, letting go or trying to expand, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we start with that? I don't know what to do with it.
Oh, that's the second issue. That you
No,
are being,
the first issue is, the second issue is also energy,
yeah.
but it's not that strong energy. It's more gentle,
Mm.
but it still feels very uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they're both to do with energy.
Yeah. Okay, let's first get into the first. Sometimes you feel like an explosion of energy, and that's becoming very uncomfortable then.
It's uncomfortable, it frightens me, and I only became aware of the fact that I actually just push it back in the last little while.
Right. And this is happening when you're sitting quietly in meditation, or it may also happen when you are active.
It can be both.
Oh, yeah.
I think when I'm sitting, I'm just more aware of what's happening, but it can be both.
Right. You need not be afraid of it at all. It's just the first moment and the system when there is more energy, instead of being happy about it, is, oh, it's too much.
It's too much.
Right. But actually, it's not too much. It's just more than usual. And then it can have that reaction, oh, it's a bit frightening. But then try to accept that you may feel a bit afraid. But then when you see that you try to get all tense and push it away, then try not to do that. Okay, accept, okay, there is more energy. It's maybe for the moment not so pleasant because I don't know how to handle it, but then just let it be there. And relax in it instead of getting all tense. You just center, use your physical center. You center physically and relax and let the energy there. And then gradually that burst will come down again in a manageable way. And then you will see that actually, instead of it being an unpleasant energy, if we are not blocking, if we are not reacting, then it gradually turns into something very joyous, very blissful, and actually helps you to open up more to your essence. So don't be afraid of those. Don't think something, maybe I did something wrong, that this is happening, but rather, okay, it's coming a bit, maybe a bit violently, as if it's more than what I have bargained for, but then, but then accept, okay, it's there. If you feel like very unpleasant physical reactions or your body shakes, then you can tense up the body for a moment to quieten it again, but then relax again. Don't try not to push that energy away, but rather, okay, so let me go for the ride, even if it's for the moment not necessarily too pleasant because it's too unfamiliar. Just decide, okay, let me go for the ride. Center and relax and see what's happening. And if it's getting too much, you still can, for a moment, just consciously without getting afraid. Consciously tense up a little and then relax again.
It feels like it's too much for the body to hold.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's inside. I've tried to relax with it
Yeah,
and I can't
yeah.
because it's almost like this pressure inside.
Mm.
So I haven't managed to relax.
Yeah, yeah. Then, right, if it's at the moment too much, then you can for a moment, but do it consciously. Tense your body a little moment and then relax.
Okay.
And then if it's again getting too much, just a moment, tense your body and then relax. And if you do that, the next time it's coming, you have already much less the need of tensing up. And gradually, when it's coming, you just relax, and actually it becomes more and more a wonderful experience.
That I'll try that. I haven't tried tensing and then letting go. I'll try that.
Yeah. If
Okay.
if it's just too much to handle, tense, but the moment not too long, and then relax again. And maybe that's
Okay.
enough. And if it's still too much, getting again too much, you do it again. You do
Okay.
it as
Okay.
many times as this is necessary, that you can then really relax and stay with it. And the next time it's coming, you have already less the necessity of tensing up. But still, for some time it may happen that you feel like, oh, for a moment it's better just get tense physically and then relax. And then eventually it becomes so familiar that you can be totally relaxed, and then it stops being frightening, and actually it's an opening. It's an expansion.
Okay. The second thing that I spoke of, which is also with energy,
Yeah.
but it's not as strong and it takes a bigger part of my body.
Mhm.
Would you deal with it in the same way? Because it's also feels very unpleasant.
What do you mean it takes a better part of your body? In certain parts of your body, you feel a lot of energy, but not in the others.
The other is, it's like the center of my body, there's the explosion.
Yeah.
With this one, it's usually in my arms and in my body.
Mhm.
And it's more like it's on the surface.
Yeah.
It's less intense, but also very unpleasant.
Uh-huh.
Would you deal with it the same way or differently?
Then I would, in a similar way, but instead of tensing up all your body, then gently move those parts of your body. If it's the arm, then you just make nice movements with your arm, that you feel a harmony with your movement, and then you keep quiet again and relax, and maybe it's okay, and maybe you keep on moving for some time. If you are sitting, maybe it's okay to get up and walk a bit and just try to gently move in a nice harmonious way, instead of somehow push that energy out. And then it's calming down and it may stop being unpleasant, and actually you feel rather that you are revitalized by getting that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Right. No need of, in the second thing, no need of tensing up. Rather, try it with the movement.
Okay.
Your gentle dance with it. And then
Okay.
it's distributing the energy nicely in the body, and you can easier relax. Relaxing is always part of it. So dance with the energy, distribute it in the whole body and relax, and then it stops being unpleasant.
Well, okay, it actually sounds quite lovely if it works.
Yes.
Okay.
With practice, it works. Maybe the first
Okay.
time it works less, the second time it works already better. Okay.
Good.
Hari Om.
Thank
Hari Om.
you. Thank you.
Hari Om. I see Nelly. Hello, Nelly.
Hello, Werner. You often talk about dark and light forces.
Yes.
And now I watch them in myself very often.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes I feel something good and have some glimpses, like I feel some joy and happiness without any reasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel so sadness and even without reasons. Yes.
Yeah.
We had unpleasant situation that I talked to you recently.
Yeah.
But I can't say that I involved so much emotionally in it, and now everything is okay. But yesterday evening I felt so sadness and not only. Sometimes I feel even when I sit in meditation and watch everything, something comes to me. This when I watch my tensions and it is connected with emotions, and I even often see my face of my grandmother, who often was in gloomy mood. I see that she had some difficulties. Yeah, after a stroke, I think. And I understand that it doesn't matter now. And I just, some images come to me of my parents and some emotions which I saw in them, some control, some maybe gloomy mood or something like this, and I see it in myself. Of course, I am their daughter or granddaughter. Of course, I took all this, and I understand that now it doesn't matter. I just accumulated this stuff, and I I feel before I heard that when there is some suppressed energy in a person, something like fears, like this low energy, and it becomes like a separate being or separate substance. I don't know. I didn't pay attention at that, but now I recently feel something like this, that I had something not good. Yes, like a pond with dirty water and yes, and bad smell, and it comes up sometimes, and I feel all this. Yeah, and try to relax, try to just breathe. Yeah, it is not pleasant. I know that it is not now. I feel it. I felt it a lot and stronger. Now it goes on, goes on coming. I
Right.
said maybe that it is. It became smaller, and maybe that it won't come so strong.
And now recently it comes big and and often strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So It simply means that you are cleaning out stuff that you are carrying along with you. And if memory comes, or even without memory, and sadness comes, then it's nothing wrong with sadness. Sadness becomes dark only when we hook into it and slip into self-pity, starting to feel very sorry for ourselves for feeling like this. But otherwise, if sadness comes and you accept there is sadness, then it's not a bad experience. Then you can be sad and be very expansive at the same time. But if sadness comes and there I'm reacting that, oh, it's that again, and oh, bad, it's a bad feeling, it's a bad experience, and get all self-pitying about it, there the darkness comes, and this is hooking the fingers in you. But if you just see the emotions that come up, and even if it's accompanied sometimes with unpleasant energies, but you accept it, you don't fight it. You accept, okay, that is happening, that is going on, this is now my experience, and at the same time you observe what it is doing while these emotions are there, what it is doing with these energies, and feel it in the body, observe it in the body, and then you start to relax on the physical level. And it may take a moment, but if you stay with it like that, then it will start to happen, even if you cannot totally relax. Just being in that alert state and giving the impulse to relax already starts to change the situation. That the sharpness, the sting is taken out of it.
Yes, I go on trying. I try to relax. Yes, try to accept. Sometimes I really, when it comes, I feel it inside myself. It's like an old woman with, oh, this is so serious, so bad, something like. I understand. I don't want to be like this, to take like, yeah, really, it's like a sickness. I understand that this is not natural. Yeah, it is something not natural that like comes from outside, not mine inner. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, I
Right,
have
but you're
to.
carrying something in you that is responding to it. That's why it becomes burdensome. If you are at ease, at peace, even if you observe unpleasant situations, it won't have the capacity to shake you up, to shake you out of your balance. So there is something in you that is responding to it, and in a way that has the tendency to pull you down, to make it heavy, to pull you into darkness. And that you can learn to see and to let go of that. And then you still will see unpleasant situations as unpleasant situations. You still will see the tragedy in people who suffer because they are totally identified with their story, with their pains, with their situations, but it will not be able to pull you into suffering, into darkness yourself. So just observe in your manifestation what it is doing when you have that presence of mind. And sometimes it's good, as I said to Nawa just before, sometimes movement is good. Sometimes it's good to just sit quietly and deal with it. But if you feel there is a lot of going on in the body, then it may also be good to just walk a bit gently and observe it and relax while walking. And then maybe later you sit down and let go of the rest.
Yeah, okay, yes, yes. I feel that I like keep something very strong and can't let it go.
Right, but
I
every
try.
time you consciously do it, that something that is there that you cannot let go gets a bit weaker. Don't get then upset to think by thinking, oh, but okay, for the time being, it's okay, but there is still that something there that doesn't want to go. You can just work on it. You cannot just decide from one day to another, okay, now I'm letting it go, and then it goes. But every time it's manifesting, if you, instead of getting overwhelmed, you learn to step a step back, you learn to observe, you learn to relax as good as you can, then that load is getting a little less. Even if you are not quite aware of it, that is what is happening.
Yes, and recently I really felt and just wanted to share with you that this dark force is becoming weaker and less, but then I felt them more strong. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that this
Uh-huh.
is a process. Yeah.
But it's also very usual that when you go deeper, you become quieter, that things come stronger to the surface. And then you may think, oh, I had it actually better under control before. And now, boom, it suddenly becomes again worse. Then you can accept, all right, it was still there, but now that I'm getting more relaxed, in a way, it's opening also the possibility for that negativity to come to the surface stronger. So don't be afraid. If this is happening, if suddenly it's getting stronger, then it's not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are more opening up and then not more keeping that locked in your subconscious.
Okay. Thank you very much, Werner. It's very helpful. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Wish you well.
Hariom.
Hari
Hariom.
Om. Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Nelly,
Yeah.
did you want to say something more? Because you are still there with the picture and talking. I think it was not for us. Huh? Okay, there you are, Lila.
Yeah. So again, it's connected to what you said. Somehow today we're all going around the same subject. So when the event is happening and it was like ongoing, as I said, for a few days, and I was very agitated, not agitated, like fire in me.
Yeah,
And then if a friend calls me and she asks, how is it going? How are you? Because she knew what was going on. And then she tells me things that are maybe okay to tell the person when, I mean, I expect, like I hear from you now when I'm not in the issue anymore, when I'm
yeah,
not involved, I'm more prepared to hear advice. And also because I ask you.
yeah,
I tell you and then I ask for your advice. But then when I'm in the midst of the event and somebody gives me advice or they tell me, because you are so and so and so, as you said, in a nice way, you explained, you reflected on what you understood from me or from Nelly or from Nava. But when, yeah, as I said, and it really annoys me and it puts me even more down because at this moment or this, when the event, as I said, it is still going on and I'm so, yeah, agitated and it's not what I want to hear.
right.
You know, it's like a little girl. What I want is that my mother, who never did it, but anyway, will take me and hug me and will tell me, yeah, but yeah, do what you do, it will be okay. Do you need any help? Maybe. Shall I take you someplace to, yeah. So what do you, what's your reflection about it?
Right. Then actually you indicated it already when you first said about how it has built up and then you stopped talking. And then when you are in the midst of it and you are in a rather still emotional way and agitated way talking about it, you inviting it, people invariably will start to give advice.
I see.
It's really like then an invitation, and everyone will start to tell you what to do and not to do, and that may not.
Not everyone, not everyone, not everyone, but most. Yeah.
Most, right. It's really an invitation. So if it happens that somebody asks you and you're still in the midst of a story, you can say, I'm in a story, but I'm dealing with it without talking too much about it. If you don't want to hear what they will tell you what you should do.
Okay. So when somebody tells me, I just met a friend now on the way back from the forest this morning, and she was agitated about something. She just told me like in one sentence, and it's really something serious. So I can't do much to help her, but still maybe I can offer my help, maybe, but then not say anything else. Probably it will be the best for the person. What can I do for you, maybe, or
Right. But if you just start to give advice, she may feel like you have felt when others start to give
that's what I'm
advice.
saying. So no, I just unless somebody really asks me like we ask you. Otherwise, giving advice is not really something that most of us like unless we ask for it.
Right, and if a person in such an agitated state says something, then it will be very nice for that person simply to feel that, yes, you're listening.
Yeah.
You are with her, you are, then what you can do, that tension that springs over to you from that person.
Exactly.
You watch it in your own system manifest and relax. And if you relax, then after that, already some of the tension that she is carrying along also will start to relax. And that is doing more than telling her what to do and what not to do.
Right. Okay, Werner.
It's good to work always on ourselves first.
Yeah.
Even in such a situation that somebody comes like this agitated, then see how actually it starts to agitate our own system, and see how we can relax that and bring the balance back. And maybe that's all they want. And then
that's all, yeah.
And if they ask for advice, then they will ask for it, and then they are also open to hear anything. But otherwise, usually same thing will happen. What you have experienced, you tell somebody, and immediately the advice comes, and you are not happy about it.
Yeah. No, in this case, I couldn't give advice. Also, there was nothing, but I can't anyway. I can't do it now.
Yeah.
But you say some very important things, which you've said before, probably. But today I'm really open to hear, and my heart is open. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Hariom.
Hariom.
I saw before another camera was opened. Was it you, Andreas? I think so. Yes. Hello, Andreas, back in Germany.
Yes. A long journey, which went very well.
Went very well. Very happy to hear.
In German, under therapists, there is a speaking that says, Ratschläge sind auch Schläge.
Yeah.
It's very hard to translate that into English, which means like the device are some kind of beatings
Yeah,
to word in German. But what I wanted to ask is, like in TU, I had one time I had a very nice meditation, and it was like there was a very quiet, like in the background, and it felt that I'm almost could like move into the silence there.
Mhm.
But I didn't manage to. There were some disruptions in the small meditation hall, or I just didn't manage to just and it really would have felt like the center of my person would have shifted into something else, away from this analyzing
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Can you say something about that? Did I make myself clear?
Yes. But it's not that you have to have now regrets that, oh, there was a chance and I missed the chance. I did that a lot to myself, that I felt, oh, there was a chance and I didn't handle it properly and missed a chance to make a real step. But often it may feel like this, but it's also something that we are telling ourselves, something that we are creating in the mind. If it had been really the time that that should have pulled you into the silence, that something profoundly shifts, it simply would have happened. It's not that you didn't quite do it right and you should have a regret and think, my God, I missed the chance. And prepare yourself in case it comes back. How can I handle it to make the best out of it? Sometimes we are getting glimpses, moments of grace, and the best basically to handle it is just to relax and be open and see what happens. It's not that we have to learn a precise trick that in case it comes, I can grab it and get on the ride. Just relax and be open. And then it may go deeper and it may be there for some time and go away. And then that's what has had to happen.
Yes, this would have been my next question, but I already guessed that there's not much you can do. You just have to open up more, right?
Right.
And let it happen.
If I start to grab it and want to do something about it, that in itself is already making it dissipate, because that fellow who wants to do something about it has to keep quiet there.
This fellow is very nasty. It always wants to analyze it. And comments on it. I realized that, okay, I have to really, yeah, this would make some difference if I could like let go of this and like move into the silence. But yeah, I couldn't let go.
Right, and it's still, you don't have to move into, you just are open and relax, and then accept whether it goes as deep as you would have liked, or as long as you would have liked, or as whatever you would have liked. Just accept what is happening, and then don't think afterwards, I messed it up again.
First, it felt a little bit like the silence is out of me, outside of me. And then I got like an inkling, this might not be true.
Yeah. Then if it's really getting silent, then the whole separation between inside and outside starts to disappear.
Okay,
Yes.
so I have to be patient.
Patient, and then, okay, if you are aware, now my urge is to start to think about it and analyze it. And if you can see that and stop it, fine. But if it happens that that comes up and you start to analyze, and then the silence is fading away, then okay, you have once more seen it's not by way of analyzing that I'm getting anywhere. Analyzing has on its own level its right to exist, its purpose to understand mechanisms and let them go. There the analyzing is perfectly valid, but then we carrying it on into a realm where it's having no place. And then if this is happening, like an experience starts to open, and there the analyzing starts again, and after that, don't scold you for falling in that trap again, but you can that much the deeper see. It's not by keeping up that analyzing intellect that really the shift deeper is happening, but then you can put the intent in the current that it that aspect of my intellect stays on the level where it belongs.
Yeah, I got that message very clearly from staying in Tiwo, that I should not analyze so much, and that like my meditation might get much better if I just make it more simple and
be.
Simple and be?
Yeah, it's very simple, and then just be instead of thinking about how would it be better. Yeah.
It's a strong tendency in me. It will probably take a while before it.
But anyhow, you are aware of it, and you see it clearer and clearer. Also by an experience like you described just now. You see it clearer and clearer. That is not a strength, that is not a positive point that I have to hold on to, but rather should let go of that aspect on this level. You can analyze on its own level whatever you want for practical reasons, but then that awareness is there, that tendency is there to carrying this into a place where it's not belonging, and you are already aware. And by being aware, and even if it's coming back again and again, but you're every time aware, and every time that intent is getting stronger. No, let that go. It hasn't any place here.
Okay. I'll try.
Right. You're doing well. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. What? What? Is there anybody else who would like to come in?
Nobody, I can ask one more time.
Yes.
I want to ask about time for meditation. I hear somewhere there's very good time, 48 minutes minimum for serious practicing. And now, because I have more time and meditating more, I understand this is really important to give time to relax for the mind. Sometimes I feel after 2 hours, oh, really something happening, something working. Sometimes even longer. I see, oh, yes, it makes sense to sit longer. So can you talk about time for meditation? Of course, it's individual for different people, but still, is there any ideas and rules?
Right. That 48 minutes, that's a traditional time span for things that's muhurtam. But you need not fill your head with ideas like this. Now you have time and you like to sit, and so you sit the time span that you feel is good for you. And since since you are capable of sitting for 2 hours and feel that then things are having the tendency to really go deeper, then you really listen to that and don't create any doubts by picking up ideas of other time spans, what should be the right one. What you feel from your experience is much more important than what this kind of suggestion mean. If somebody has no idea and doesn't know what to do, then those kind of suggestions may help them to give a bit a guideline. But you are an old hand in your meditation and you listen to your own experience and don't let your experience, your conviction be disturbed by ideas that come like this.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to share. Yes, it's working, sitting more, it's happening. Yeah, it's need time for meditation. It cannot be in 5 minutes. That's what I wanted to share.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are aware enough that you listen to yourself and there you feel what is good for you, how much is good for you.
Okay, Werner, thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come? The question from the aisles just right now. Now we talked about the length, the time span of a meditation, but it's with a lot of things like this. When somebody sets out on the spiritual path and starts to practice and has then all these doubts, what is right, what is wrong. So there are the traditional guidelines one can hold on to. And if there is a teacher, then one can listen to the teacher and follow the instructions of the teacher. If one starts out by oneself, then one can take these traditional guidelines. But then as one is getting experienced in the practice, one can more and more learn to listen to one's own deep conviction that is coming from the experience. And as Dayal has said, people are different. We cannot say that's the best, that's how it is in many things. We can get a general direction by those guidelines and then develop our own experience and learn to become subtler in the awareness what really feels good, what really feels constructive for me, for this fellow, for this psychophysical manifestation, and then develop more and more the faith, the confidence in that. If one lives with a teacher who guides, that's another situation. There we can take the guidance of the teacher, and then that also doesn't create doubts. But if one doesn't live with a teacher, then it's necessary to develop the self-confidence. And self-confidence comes from experience. And that experience that is there strengthening self-confidence is that more and more we are capable to connect with that immovable aspect of ourselves. That even when doubts come, instead of getting to brood about them too much, we just connect with that immovable aspect. And then maybe the answer is simply obvious, or maybe there is no need of an answer at that time for a doubt, or maybe the doubt doesn't make any sense anymore. And the more we are exercising that, instead of trying to figure things out too much to do the right thing and being afraid maybe I'm not doing the right thing, that we learn to let go, to connect. And with that increasing capacity of connecting with that immovable aspect in ourselves, the self-confidence comes. It has nothing to do with arrogance, ego, arrogance. I know better. I know what is good, what is bad. It's that capacity of not more letting the mind pull us away with doubts that are turning around and make us insecure and then always disturb the balance. But okay, if a doubt comes, we can, about any subject on our, that has to do with our development. If a doubt comes, we can listen to that doubt, see whether it makes any sense. If necessary, think about it. But then connect. That is much more important than intellectually trying to figure out and hoping to find the optimal solution. Most of the time, even if doubts come, whether we doing it more this way or that way is not so important. What is important is that we learn to connect and let go. The more we are doing that, the more that self-confidence is growing. That we are not always half in doubt, that we are not always afraid, maybe I could do something wrong. Maybe I'm not doing it perfectly. There is no perfection in manifestation, so we can't do it perfectly. Andreas, you want to say something?
Yes, if you don't mind, I would like to ask about the connection, because for me the always feels a little bit like opening, or do I misunderstand something?
You want to ask about what?
About when you say like connect, yeah, relax,
yeah.
and then it's like for me the connection feels always like a little bit like opening up and getting out of my analytical mind and just like losing so much like believing so much that I'm inside of my body. It's more like I open up and it's yeah, just everything gets wider. Is that what you is that something that belongs to connecting, or do I misunderstand something?
Right, you can say so. It belongs, it's sort of like a flavor of connecting. When I say connect, then of course it's a figure of speech. We are always connected. But most of the time, we are not aware of that connection with the source, with the current of life, with the pure consciousness. And then it's good to have the idea, okay, consciously connect in one way or another. Although we are already connected, we cannot possibly be disconnected. Then it feels like we are connecting when we make ourselves aware that that connection is there. And that can very much have that flavor of feeling like an opening. Yes.
Yeah, for me, it feels like then I'm getting a little bit out of my usual, like, thinking about myself and always turning around in circles about my little ego problems that I have or the things that I'm unhappy about. And yeah, so
Right.
that's, yeah. What are the other aspects?
Find out for yourself. I don't want to put ideas in your head and then after that you have to sit there and try to experience that. Connect and relax. And that
Okay.
is the opening. And then how the experience of that is unfolding, that actually it's quite different from one story to another.
Thank you very much for letting me in.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om. That is also an aspect that is good to remember. That I'll come to you. That is good to remember that even if we hear something, how somebody experiences something, we don't have to try to duplicate it, to experience the same thing, but we can learn to take inspiration from somebody's experience and connect and be open. And in that opening, then the experience is unfolding in its own unique beauty. All right, Leela, you're welcome to come in.
So you said there is no perfection in manifestation,
No,
but there is no perfection also in the divine or the essence or whatever we call it. There is no perfection
in the
in anything.
essence, there is no imperfection. And if there is no imperfection, the concept of perfection doesn't make any sense.
Right. Very simple.
But in manifestation, there is always positive and negative aspects.
Always.
You can do things grossly wrong, where you are definitely creating an imbalance which is resulting in pain, which is resulting in suffering. And we can learn not to do that. But if we strive for perfection, then actually it's the me personality who wants to be perfect again. You just be at peace, in harmony, and not worried about being perfect. When I started out on getting in touch with yoga, they were actually talking a lot about becoming perfect. And it has been for me like a goal to get closer to perfection. But at a certain point, I thought this is actually nonsense. Manifestation has positive and negative, and if they are totally perfect, it's like the manifestation disappears.
I feel that for me, it's a benefit of getting older to realize that there's no perfection, because the body tells me also
Yeah.
very clear. Yeah, so I just wonder, when I was 20, 30, 50, whatever. And now it's somehow easier for me to understand, or to maybe not to understand with the mind, but like to somehow there's something me that knows it, that there is no perfection.
Right.
I see it every day in the mirror when I look. So yeah, it's another lesson. It's another lesson. As you always say, also, there is no mistake. I remember you saying many times, there is no mistake, really. I think you said it. Yeah, I'm just wonder. Because it helps me. It helps me to carry somehow the difficulties, realizing that there is no perfection.
Yes.
It helps me to realize, it makes something lighter. Even, nowadays, as I keep saying, nowadays it's emotionally, and the pain, I say every time, is, like, can't carry it. I mean, I can, but so, but realizing that there is no perfection, and the connection between this and getting closer to, probably, to death, it helps.
Good. Great. We don't have to unnecessarily carry concepts in our mind, even if at a certain time they may have inspired us to get in a good direction. At a certain time we can let go of concepts like perfection.
But also the concept that there is no perfection, that is also a concept. So everything becomes a concept. So words become,
Right, but we don't have to create a new concept of there is no perfection. It's more that if that idea of struggling for perfection has stopped being creative and actually rather becomes a burden, we can let go of that. And if we are letting go of the idea that there must be perfection, then that's just done. We don't have to create a new concept out of it.
yeah, that's quite a relief. Quite a relief not doing
Very
it.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, thank you again.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om. All right, my friends. I think we have covered enough for today. Everything is pointing always back to that essence. And nothing can define that. We don't have to achieve that. It's there. It's here. It's always. Our job is to become aware where we are putting obstacles, to consciously be aware of it. That there is something that is complete. And even complete cannot define it. Because at the same time, it's getting richer for the experience all the time. It's immovable, always the same, and the experience of it is still expanding all the time. Everything that we can do is not creating that, is seeing how we're preventing it, seeing the obstacles that we are creating or carrying along, and let them go and become aware. What we are looking for, it has been there all along and making the whole experience possible. I wish you all well. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.